every. Today I want to talk to you about something that stirs the soul, lifts the spirit, and gives us hope in the quiet moments of waiting. The signs that appear when God is about to give you something big. Sometimes in life we ask for blessings, a breakthrough, a purpose, a miracle. But what we don't always realize is that God doesn't just deliver big things without preparing you first. He plants signs along the way, small, subtle, sometimes strange signs that let you know something big is coming. When God is preparing to give you something big, the first sign you might notice is the occurrence of unforeseen changes and shifts in your life. These shifts can often feel unsettling or even like setbacks, but they are a powerful reminder that God is actively working behind the scenes. It may feel like everything around you is falling apart or changing in ways you didn't expect. Perhaps a job you loved suddenly ends, a relationship you thought would last begins to fade, or a dream you've been working towards seems to stall. These changes, while difficult to process in the moment, are often signs that God is clearing the way for something greater that is yet to come. Sometimes we can become too comfortable with where we are, even if it's not where we're truly meant to be. We get accustomed to the status quo, and we may resist change out of fear of the unknown. But God knows the bigger plan for your life and will sometimes allow things to fall apart in order to make room for something better. It's like cleaning out a closet. You have to remove the old clothes you no longer need in order to make space for the new ones. When you experience these shifts, it's important to recognize them not as signs of failure, but as part of God's bigger plan. It's easy to feel lost or confused when things start to change unexpectedly, but trust that He is redirecting your steps for a purpose. The change can come in various forms, and while it may initially seem like a negative shift, often these moments are necessary for growth. For example, losing a job might feel like the end of the world, but it can also be a divine intervention that nudges you toward a new opportunity, one that aligns more with your true purpose or calling. A relationship ending may cause heartache, but it can also be a chance for personal growth, healing, and for God to bring someone into your life who is a better fit for your journey. These seemingly negative experiences are often what prepare us for the bigger blessings we can't yet see. In the midst of these shifts, it's important to focus not on the discomfort of the moment, but on the bigger picture. When God is working in your life, He often uses these transitions as a way to stretch your faith and trust in Him. At first, the changes may seem random, harsh, or even like punishments, but they are part of the preparation process. God knows that in order to give you something big, you need to be in the right environment, with the right mindset and heart posture. Sometimes that means He has to shake up your life to make you ready. Furthermore, these shifts can also be a signal that God is breaking down the walls of self-sufficiency we often build around ourselves. We tend to lean on our own understanding and plans, and when things stay the same for too long, it's easy to forget that we are not in control. When things start shifting unexpectedly, it's a gentle reminder that God is in charge. It's not about our plans or efforts. It's about His perfect timing and purpose. As you navigate these changes, it's essential to surrender to God's will and trust that He's orchestrating everything for your good. You may not see the full picture immediately, but in hindsight, you'll realize that these shifts were necessary for you to step into the bigger thing God has prepared for you. Sometimes God must first move the pieces around, adjust your mindset, and remove obstacles to make room for His blessings. In this way, the shifts and changes serve as a form of divine redirection. As you move through this season of uncertainty, try to focus on the growth that can come from these changes. They are not here to break you, they are here to build you. Even though the changes may not make sense now, trust that God is working all things together for your good. And as you continue to trust Him, you'll start to see how the pieces come together in a way that is far better than anything you could have planned on your own. When God is preparing to give you something big, you may begin to experience an increased desire for growth and a deep sense of purpose. This stirring within your heart often emerges at a time when you feel unsettled or restless. It's a feeling that something more awaits you. something beyond your current circumstances, and that you're being called to step into a greater purpose. This inner yearning is not just a passing thought or a vague desire. It is a divine calling, a whisper from God, urging you to rise to the potential He has placed within you. You might not fully understand what it is or how it will unfold, but you sense a compelling pull towards something bigger, something more fulfilling than what you've known before. This internal stirring is a sign that God is awakening something within you. It is as though He is planting a seed of destiny deep in your spirit, and that seed refuses to remain dormant. You may find yourself thinking more deeply about your life, questioning what you are truly meant to do, and feeling a longing for something more meaningful. Whether it's a desire to pursue a new career, to step out in faith, to build something larger than yourself, or simply to live with greater purpose, this stirring can't be ignored. You may even begin to feel that the things you once found satisfying no longer hold the same appeal. What once seemed important now feels hollow, and you are suddenly drawn to new ideas, new possibilities, and new paths. It is the voice of God, prompting you to realize that He has more for you than you could have imagined. This desire for growth can feel both exciting and intimidating. On one hand, it's thrilling to feel as though something big is coming, something that will stretch and challenge you. On the other hand, it can bring up fear and uncertainty. You may wonder if you are capable or ready for the journey ahead. But this restlessness is not about discomfort for the sake of discomfort. It's a divine invitation to lean into the person God is calling you to become. God doesn't awaken this desire in you without also equipping you for the journey. The stirring you feel within is His way of preparing you for the challenges and victories ahead. As this desire grows stronger, you might also begin to feel a greater sense of responsibility. The thought of pursuing something bigger than yourself might inspire you to think about the impact you could have on others. You may start to recognize that your life is not just about your own success, but about fulfilling a higher calling that touches those around you. You may feel the weight of what God is asking you to do, and with that weight comes a greater sense of purpose. You understand that you are being called to use your talents, your voice, and your influence in ways that you haven't before. This purpose isn't just for your benefit, it's for the greater good, for the kingdom of God, and for the lives of those you will touch along the way. At times, this growing desire for growth and purpose can be uncomfortable because it forces you to confront things within yourself that need to change. It may mean letting go of old habits, outdated mindsets, or limiting beliefs that no longer serve you. It may mean stepping out of your comfort zone and taking risks that challenge your faith. But this process of growth is essential because God will not give you something big until He has cultivated the character and strength within you to handle it. The internal stirring you feel is not only a call to expand your horizons, but also to deepen your faith and trust in His plan for you. Moreover, as this sense of purpose intensifies, you might also notice that the things that used to distract you or keep you complacent no longer have the same hold on you. You'll begin to prioritize what really matters, aligning your goals and actions with the greater purpose God is calling you toward. This shift is often accompanied by a greater clarity of vision. You begin to see the steps you need to take and the direction you need to move in, even if the full picture is still a little blurry. The clearer your sense of purpose becomes, the more equipped you'll feel to act on the desires God has placed within your heart. As you continue to listen to the stirrings within, you may find that God is gradually revealing more of His plan for you. It may not all unfold at once, and the process might require patience. But with each step, you will feel more confident that this is the path you are meant to follow. This growing desire for growth and purpose is the first signal that God is preparing you for something big. It is His way of reminding you that He has not forgotten you, that He sees the potential within you, and that He is ready to take you to new heights, but only when you are willing to step into the fullness of what He has planned for your life. When God is preparing to give you something big, one of the key signs you might experience is a period of waiting, often accompanied by a sense of frustration or impatience. This waiting may feel like you're stuck in a holding pattern where you're unsure of what to do next or why things aren't moving as quickly as you expected. However, it's important to understand that this waiting isn't a punishment or a sign that you're not ready. It's a part of God's perfect plan to prepare you for the big blessing He has in store. While waiting might be uncomfortable and challenging, it is also one of the most profound times of growth, reflection, and alignment with God's will for your life. During times of waiting, God is refining you. He's shaping your heart, your character, and your faith. It can be easy to become discouraged when things seem to be at a standstill, especially when you've been praying, working hard, and doing everything you can to move forward. But in these moments, God is working in ways you may not be able to see. He is teaching you patience, trust, and surrender. Waiting can feel like a loss of control, but it is in this loss that God begins to cultivate deeper trust in His timing. He knows what's best for you, and He is preparing you for what's ahead. If everything happened according to your own timeline, you may not be spiritually or emotionally ready for the big things God is planning for you. The waiting period can also serve as a time of purification. Sometimes we carry baggage from past experiences, whether it's past mistakes, fears, or wounds, that could prevent us from stepping into the new opportunities God has for us. During the waiting period, God often uses this time to help us release these burdens. He gently works to heal those parts of us that need restoration, helping us to let go of anything that might hold us back from fully embracing the blessing He's about to give us. In the waiting, we learn to let go of control and trust that His plan is far greater than anything we could arrange on our own. As you wait, God is also teaching you perseverance and endurance. Waiting doesn't mean doing nothing. Rather, it's an active season of trusting God, continuing to pursue His will, and keeping your faith strong even when it feels like nothing is happening. It's easy to give up when you don't see immediate results or when the path ahead seems unclear. But the waiting period is often the place where God builds the strength necessary for the journey ahead. When you step into the big blessing, you will need endurance and resilience to carry it through. The waiting time equips you with these qualities, preparing you to handle challenges that may come as a result of the new opportunities God is preparing for you. Another important aspect of waiting is that it can bring a sense of clarity. Sometimes we can get so caught up in our plans and ambitions that we forget to pause and listen to God. The waiting period allows us to draw near to Him and to seek His guidance more deeply. In the stillness, you might hear God's voice more clearly, helping you discern the next steps you need to take. It's in this quiet space that God often reveals things you wouldn't have noticed if you were rushing to get to the next stage. During the waiting period, God helps you align your plans with His greater vision for your life. This time of waiting is also an opportunity to strengthen your faith. When things aren't moving according to your timeline, it's easy to question whether God is still working on your behalf. But the waiting period teaches you to rely on God's faithfulness rather than your own understanding. It's during these times that you learn to lean into His promises and trust that He is working in ways you cannot yet see. You come to understand that His timing is perfect, even if it doesn't match your expectations. This reliance on God builds a deeper and more unshakable faith, one that will be able to withstand any trials or difficulties you may encounter once the big blessing arrives. Ultimately, the waiting period is not a passive time. It's a time of growth, preparation, and spiritual deepening. Though it may feel like you're stuck, God is actively preparing you for something greater. Waiting is the moment where you are refined, purified, and made ready to step into the next chapter of your life. When God gives you something big, He doesn't just want you to have the blessing, He wants you to be ready for it. The waiting is where you gain the strength, wisdom, and maturity to receive it fully. So, when you find yourself in a season of waiting, remember that this time is not wasted. It's part of God's perfect plan to prepare you for the amazing things He has prepared for you. Trust in His timing and keep walking in faith. When God is preparing to give you something big, one of the most powerful signs that something incredible is on the way is the unexpected favor that begins to show up in your life. This favor often appears in ways you might not have anticipated or even prayed for, yet it confirms that God is opening doors and orchestrating opportunities on your behalf. These unexpected blessings can come in many forms: a promotion at work that you weren't expecting, a new relationship that seems to align perfectly with your purpose, or an opportunity that seems to materialize out of nowhere, one you didn't even know you were qualified for. It's as though the universe or the people around you suddenly begin to shift in your favor, making things happen that would otherwise be impossible or highly unlikely. This divine favor is one of the most powerful ways that God affirms His plan for your life. It's not simply about receiving blessings, but about the confirmation that you are being aligned with what He has in store for you. Often, this favor is undeserved, meaning that you haven't worked for it or earned it in the conventional sense. It's not about your qualifications, your background, or your track record. It's a clear sign that God's grace is at work, pushing things in your favor, opening doors that you thought were locked, and positioning you in places where you need to be in order to fulfill His purpose for your life. What's remarkable about this favor is that it can sometimes come from people you least expect. You might receive help or support from someone who doesn't owe you anything, or even from a stranger who simply feels moved to help you. This kind of unexpected favor is a way of reminding you that God works through others to bless you. People who don't even know your full story might end up playing a part in the bigger plan God has for you. This isn't just a coincidence. It's God's hand moving in your life, arranging connections and relationships that you couldn't have orchestrated on your own. It's a reminder that God is in control, and He is using others to help you step into your destiny. At the same time, favor doesn't always come in the form of a big, obvious blessing. Sometimes it's subtle, a small shift in a situation that leads to a bigger opportunity down the line. Perhaps you find that a long-term project suddenly gains traction, or an old contact reaches out with the very information or assistance you've been needing. These small moments are not to be overlooked. They are God's favor at work, slowly paving the way for the big things ahead. They're like pieces of a puzzle, each moment of favor fitting together until you can see the whole picture of God's plan for your life. This favor often comes when you least expect it too, especially during times when you feel like you're not making progress or when things are at a standstill. Just when you begin to question whether things will ever change or if your prayers will ever be answered, God will show you that He has been working all along. This is the moment when favor starts to make its way into your life, and what once seemed impossible suddenly becomes possible. You might not see it coming, but when it does, you'll know that it's not by your own effort or ability, but by God's grace. It's during these times that you are reminded that everything happens in His perfect timing. Sometimes this favor might feel almost overwhelming, and it can bring a mix of emotions. On one hand, you might feel deeply grateful for the blessings you're receiving. On the other hand, you might feel slightly undeserving or even surprised by how everything is falling into place. That's okay. It's important to remember that God's favor isn't earned through perfection or performance. It's given freely by His grace. It's a reminder that you are loved, chosen, and cared for by a God who wants to see you succeed and fulfill the purpose He has set before you. As you begin to experience this favor, it's essential to maintain a posture of gratitude. Don't take the favor for granted or allow it to go unnoticed. Recognize it for what it is, a sign that God is actively working on your behalf. With each opportunity that comes your way, it's a chance to step into what He's preparing for you, and each blessing is an invitation to grow, serve, and prepare for the bigger things that lie ahead. The favor you experience during this season is not just about personal success or gain. It's about positioning you to fulfill a greater purpose, one that impacts others and brings glory to God. As God opens doors for you and provides unexpected blessings, use those opportunities to serve Him and others. Share the favor you receive, pay it forward, and remember that the favor in your life is a reflection of God's goodness and grace, not just for your benefit, but for His kingdom's purposes as well. In the midst of receiving unexpected favor, remember that it's a reminder that God is already ahead of you, preparing the way. The favor you experience is a clear sign that He is orchestrating everything to bring you into alignment with the bigger blessings He has for your life. Trust in His guidance, stay humble, and allow His favor to lead you into the next chapter of your journey. When God is preparing to give you something big, one of the most profound signs you may notice is a deep sense of peace, even in the midst of chaos or uncertainty. This peace often comes at times when everything around you feels unstable or unpredictable, and yet, despite the external circumstances, you find an inner calm that doesn't make sense by human standards. It's a peace that surpasses understanding, a stillness in your heart that assures you that everything will be okay, even when the storm seems to be raging all around you. This sense of peace is one of the clearest signs that God is at work in your life, guiding you through the challenges and preparing you for what's ahead. This peace is not based on your circumstances, but on your trust in God's presence and control over your life. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when things go wrong or when the road ahead seems unclear. But the peace that God provides is a reminder that He is bigger than any problem or fear you face. When God is about to give you something big, He often gives you this peace to anchor your soul during the waiting or the challenging moments. This peace isn't just the absence of anxiety. It's a positive sense of calm and confidence that comes from knowing that God is with you and that His plan will unfold in its perfect time. You might experience this peace when you least expect it. For example, in the middle of a crisis, you may find yourself feeling strangely calm, as if an invisible hand is holding you steady. This is the peace of God. It might not make sense to those around you, but it's a sign that He is walking with you through your challenges. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by fear, doubt, or stress, you find that your faith in God becomes your source of stability. It's as if God is whispering to your soul, saying, "I've got this. I'm in control." This peace helps you stand firm when everything else seems to be shifting and uncertain. This inner peace also provides clarity in times of decision-making. When God is about to give you something big, you might find that you experience a sense of calm confidence when faced with decisions. Where once there might have been confusion, hesitation, or indecision, now there's an undeniable sense of knowing. It's not that the decision becomes easier necessarily, but the overwhelming anxiety or fear that can accompany decision-making fades. You begin to trust that God will guide you through it and that His will for you is good. The peace you feel allows you to make decisions with confidence, knowing that God is leading you in the right direction, even when the path is unclear. Sometimes this peace shows up in the most unexpected moments. For instance, after a period of intense stress or anxiety, you may suddenly feel a wave of peace wash over you, not because the situation has changed, but because you've come to a place of surrender. You realize that you are not alone in your struggles and that God is with you, strengthening you and carrying you through. This peace doesn't mean that you won't face challenges, but it allows you to face them with a renewed sense of faith and trust in God's provision. This divine peace also acts as a shield against worry and fear. When God is preparing you for something big, you may encounter periods of uncertainty, doubt, or even fear. The enemy might try to plant seeds of worry, trying to distract you from your purpose, or make you question if you're truly ready for the big things that God has for you. However, the peace that God provides becomes a protective covering over your heart and mind, guarding you against the thoughts and worries that could derail your faith. This peace gives you the strength to continue moving forward even when the unknowns seem overwhelming. Moreover, the peace that comes from God has a unique way of restoring your soul and renewing your strength. When life feels heavy and exhausting, His peace refreshes you. It's like a breath of fresh air in a stuffy room, clearing out the distractions and bringing clarity to your mind. This peace doesn't come from external circumstances. It's not about having everything figured out or all your problems solved. Instead, it's a reminder that no matter what's going on around you, God is faithful and His presence is enough to sustain you. The peace you feel also deepens your relationship with God. As you experience this peace, you begin to trust Him more, knowing that He is the source of your calm. You come to realize that when God is preparing you for something big, He doesn't leave you to handle it on your own. He walks with you through every step of the process, providing peace as a reminder that He is always present, always in control, and always working for your good. This peace helps you rest in His promises, knowing that you are never truly alone in your journey. The peace that comes during this time is not a fleeting emotion. It is a steady, unshakable force that remains with you. Even when things get tough, you can find this peace because it's rooted in God's unchanging nature and His faithfulness to His promises. This peace isn't just about feeling good in the moment. It's a powerful sign that God is preparing you to handle the bigger things He is about to bring into your life. When you experience this peace, hold on to it, because it's a clear indication that God is preparing you for something great, and He's with you every step of the way. When God is about to give you something big, one of the most noticeable signs is an increased sense of clarity and purpose in your life. This clarity isn't something that comes from your own reasoning or from a carefully thought out plan, but it's something that arises when God begins to reveal His will for your life more clearly. It's as though the fog that once clouded your vision begins to dissipate, and you find that you can see the next steps in your journey with a sense of certainty and direction. It's a feeling of divine alignment, as though everything starts to fall into place, and you know without a doubt that you're walking the path that God has prepared for you. This clarity often comes when you least expect it, during times when you've been praying, seeking guidance, and waiting for answers. You might have been feeling confused or uncertain about your future, but in an instant you experience a shift in perspective. The things that once seemed complicated or ambiguous now feel clear. You begin to understand your purpose in a deeper way, and the steps you need to take become more evident. This clarity might come through a series of small nudges, a conversation with a mentor, or even during a time of quiet reflection or prayer. Whatever the means, this clarity is a sign that God is showing you the direction you need to move in, helping you understand how to align your actions with His greater plan for your life. This newfound clarity may come with a sense of peace as well, confirming that the direction you are headed in is not only the right one, but the one that is in line with God's will. It's a peace that comes from knowing that, even if the path ahead is challenging or uncertain, you are walking in the steps God has ordered for you. It's not just a rational understanding of where to go, it's a deep inner knowing that this is where you're meant to be. It's almost as if God has taken the blinders off your eyes, allowing you to see the bigger picture of your life, and it all makes sense in a way that it didn't before. As you gain clarity, you might also experience a renewed sense of purpose. You may find that you're no longer just going through the motions of life, but that you are actively working toward a greater goal, one that is divinely inspired. This sense of purpose may give you a fresh excitement or motivation to pursue your dreams, knowing that they are not just personal ambitions, but part of a bigger, God-given vision. You begin to feel that everything you've been through up until this point has been preparation for this moment, and you are now ready to step into the next phase of your journey with confidence. With this clarity also comes a deep understanding of what to focus on and what to let go of. As you see more clearly the purpose God has for you, you'll realize that some of the things that once felt important no longer matter as much. Relationships, habits, or pursuits that once seemed essential might lose their significance, and you may feel compelled to let them go in order to make space for what truly matters. This clarity gives you the courage to prioritize what is in alignment with God's plan for your life, and to shed what doesn't serve that purpose. The distractions and doubts that may have previously pulled you in different directions no longer have the same hold on you. This clarity also brings a sense of divine timing. You begin to recognize that everything in your life is unfolding in the exact right way, at the exact right time. Things that seemed out of your control, the delays or setbacks you've faced, now make sense. You start to see how every experience, whether good or bad, has contributed to your growth and has positioned you for the bigger things God is preparing. You realize that God has been guiding you all along, even in moments when you didn't understand why certain things were happening. With clarity, you begin to see that everything has been a step in the process and that you're exactly where you need to be. Additionally, this clarity often leads to a shift in your mindset. As God opens your eyes to His purpose for your life, you begin to view challenges differently. What once felt like obstacles or roadblocks now seem like opportunities for growth and learning. You start to approach life with a greater sense of faith and optimism, knowing that whatever comes your way is part of the plan to prepare you for the bigger blessing. Your fears and doubts are replaced with a renewed sense of trust in God's ability to lead you through every situation. This shift in mindset makes it easier to embrace the unknown and take the next steps, no matter how daunting they may seem. In this season of clarity, you may also experience a renewed sense of energy and passion. When you know what you're meant to do and you can see how your efforts are connected to a greater purpose, you find that the work becomes less tiring and more fulfilling. The tasks and challenges you face are no longer burdens, but opportunities to grow, serve, and make a difference. You are able to move forward with a clear focus and the determination to fulfill the mission that God has set before you. Ultimately, this clarity serves as a sign that God is not only preparing you for something big, but that He is guiding you every step of the way. It's a reminder that He is not a distant observer of your life, but an active participant, leading, guiding, and shaping your journey. When you experience this clarity, it's an invitation to step forward in faith, knowing that God's plan is unfolding exactly as it should. This clarity is not just a sign of what's to come, but a confirmation that you are already on the right path, and that with God's help, you are ready to embrace the bigger blessings He has in store. In conclusion, when God is preparing to give you something big, He often provides signs along the way to help guide and reassure you. These signs, such as unexpected favor, peace in the midst of chaos, clarity of purpose, and a sense of growth and development, are not just coincidences, but clear indications of His divine work in your life. Though the path may be challenging at times, these signs remind you that God is at work, preparing you for something greater and shaping you to receive the blessings He has planned for you. The waiting, the favor, the peace, the clarity, and the growth are all part of His perfect timing and purpose. Each of these signs serves as a reminder to trust in His guidance, to remain faithful, and to have confidence that He is leading you towards a future far beyond what you could have imagined. As you step into the big things He has prepared, remember that God is with you every step of the way, equipping you to embrace the opportunities and challenges ahead with faith, courage, and purpose.